What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Hello, welcome back to Fit Fierce Fun. So today we are talking about how to stay positive when the world seems so negative. This is something that I feel like we all struggle with every day, some form or fashion, like in some way or another. We think about how negative the world is right now. Like there's a lot of negative things happening in the world, and sometimes we don't see the positive things about life and being alive and in this world. There are times where we can just let the darkness of this world consume us, and I want to share with you some tips and some tricks and some principles to live by in life, and some things that you can actually practically do and practice in life that will help you stay positive in this world today. I know. So let's get started. So tip number one, and this is a big one, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but gratitude is the key here. It's the first point, and it is really the thing that's going to transform your thinking patterns and attract more positivity into your life. So I know you've heard about the gratitude journal. I mean, there's a reason why everybody says keep a gratitude journal. You've heard it a million times. Gratitude journal. I am telling you, it is life-changing. If you haven't gotten one yet and you don't realize the power of this, I'm telling you, there's so much power in writing down the things that you are grateful for. So this is my gratitude journal. I started keeping a gratitude journal about a year ago, over a year ago, and it's helped me so much. I lost my brother in 2016, for those of you that don't know. And I've been struggling with depression, going in and out of depression, mourning the loss of my brother, for years now. And I was depressed, I was struggling with depression. This is one of the key things that really turned everything around and helped me turn things around. So I'm telling you, you want to do this in the morning or at night. I like to do it in the morning. You hear people say that doing it in the morning is the best way to start your day, is when you start the day off with gratitude. You put yourself in a state that is ready to receive positivity. This is actually proven to release dopamine in the brain when you write down all the things you're grateful for. And dopamine is one of the hormones responsible for feeling happy, for feeling good. And like, this is not some hocus pocus, like foo-foo la la thing. This is proven to make you feel better. Just think about the basic things that we take for granted, like on a daily basis, like electricity, water, the fact that you can go turn on your faucet and have water come out for you, air conditioning, heating. Like, these are things that we take for granted. Like, could you live without it? No, there are some people who have to. And I think just really being grateful for the little things is what will shift your mindset, and in that, open yourself up to more blessings, to more positivity, to more great things to be grateful for. I also couple that with daily affirmations. So what I'll do is I will write down the things I'm grateful for, and then I will write down some positive affirmations, and I could do a whole video on affirmations, but today we're just going to talk about the gratitude, and that is our first point here. So it doesn't have to look all fancy like this. I got this from Target. I love that. It says, be bold, take risks, live life freely, lead by example, trust your gut, say what you feel, mean what you say, express gratitude, believe in your power, exceed your expectations, dance the night away, skip down the street. I said skip town. Don't skip town. Hey, if that's what your heart tells you, maybe you do need to skip town. Maybe someone needed to hear that. Don't take no for an answer. Be your best self and don't look back. So I love this journal. Get yourself one. It doesn't have to be that. It could be a little, it could be just a little, you know, spiral notebook, whatever. Just write it down. Write it down. The power of pen to paper is, it does wonder. Tip number 2 are goals. You have to have goals, and then you have to break those goals up into smaller goals, and you have to break those smaller goals into smaller goals, and you have to break those smaller goals into tasks. You have to have your goals mapped out in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming. You can have all these big goals, and then you look at them and you say, well, how am I going to get this done? And that can even make you feel even more depressed or even more negative, because you're overwhelmed and you don't see a way to make it happen. So this is what you do. You break those big goals down into smaller goals. So I love the 3x4 method, and I really wish I could remember who I learned this from, who I got this from. Maybe it'll come to me, and if I remember, I'll link them below, because I did not come up with this method, but when I did learn of it, I wrote it down and posted it on my wall immediately. So what it is you have 3 lifetime goals. You have 3 big lifetime goals. Like in my lifetime, these are the 3 things that I have to accomplish. Then you take those 3 lifetime goals, right? You set them aside. Then you have 3 long-term goals, and these are from like 6 months to a year. So these are like your big long-term goals, basically for the year. And then it's on my wall, so I'm looking. And then you have 3 these are kind of more shorter term goals. They are anywhere from a week to 3 weeks. So it could be like your goals for that month or your goals for the next couple weeks. And then you have your 3 daily goals. And I love this because I take my planner and I write down the 3 goals for that day. So these are the 3 things that have to get done that day. When I do this and I accomplish it and I get my 3 goals done, it is just the most satisfying and amazing feeling when I do that. I'm like, okay, I accomplished something. I have accomplished the day. And it just gets the momentum going, and you're like, all right, what's next? You will feel good when you're accomplishing the smaller goals, because they're easy to do, because they're small, they're bite-sized chunks, and you just get the ball rolling and you get the momentum flowing, and next thing you know, you've accomplished your weekly or monthly goal, and then you've accomplished your shorter term goals, and then you accomplish your long-term goals. Like this will make you feel good about yourself when you can accomplish these smaller tasks, these smaller goals. It really lifts you up. It really does. And it makes your big goals more easy to accomplish, and which will obviously make you feel amazing and fulfilled, because you're getting the things that you want to get done. Next, this is more of an avoidance. You want to avoid things that can make you feel depressed. Sometimes we don't even realize we're subjecting ourselves to being depressed. Just avoid some of those things. Don't watch the news every single day. I know some people want to know what's going on. Don't watch it every single day. I like to try to get my news without watching the news. You know, you can just do a quick little skimming of the news, you know, on a website. So many other ways to get the information that you need. You know, you can follow The Economist. You can follow, you know, some other pages on Twitter. Just don't sit there and watch the news every day. It will bring you down, and it will do so many negative things to you. It will brainwash you. It will just make you feel low. It brings you down to a lower frequency and vibration. I don't like the news. It just sometimes when it's on and I am watching it, I feel traumatized. Like I can't take it. So really, don't. If you do like to watch the news, try to watch it less and see how you feel the days you don't watch it. I guarantee you'll notice a difference. the next thing you want to avoid sometimes, you want to take a break from social media. Like, I know we live in a social media crazed world, and I love social media. We all do. We're all addicted to it. But you want to take a break from it. And you could do this so many different ways. But just hit the pause button on it sometimes. Put your phone away. I like to put my phone away and just not even look at it sometimes, because it's always going off. You're constantly getting emails, constantly getting texts, constantly getting just, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. And it's all these things fighting for your attention, and it's overwhelming, and it'll make me shut down completely. So what I do is I put the phone away and I don't even look at it. And then, you know, people will get upset with you because you're not returning text messages, but you really need you time to just not be attached to that thing. Just put it away and give your brain and your mind just like time to breathe, because we're constantly consuming, and we just need to just breathe. We need to let our consciousness just breathe, which leads me into my next tip: meditation. So meditation has endless benefits. The benefits of meditation are endless. It helps reduce stress, anxiety. It helps stabilize your emotional health. It can even expand your focus and your attention span. Even help reduce the symptoms of high blood pressure, asthma, and of course depression as well. I could do a whole video on meditation, but really learning just how to connect the mind to the body. You really want to connect with your breath. And in times if you're feeling anxious or sad or angry especially, just stop and just breathe. Just breathe. And sitting down and just breathing and focusing on your breath, that is just the most basic way you can meditate and get into meditation. You know, even if you don't know the first thing about meditation, just sit somewhere, get comfortable, and just breathe and just focus on your breathing. And every time your mind wanders, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on the thoughts. Just let them come and go, and then put your attention back on your breath. And that's really how you start off and just begin meditating. So give it a shot. My next tip is to move the body. Move the body. Move the body. I'm yelling because it is the thing that keeps me breathing every day. Fitness has always been my biggest antidepressant. Working out, lifting, that is what keeps me sane. When I don't move my body, when I am stuck sitting still or I haven't worked out in over a week, I feel horrible emotionally, physically, mentally. I feel horrible when I'm not moving. So move the body. I love lifting. I love working out. I love it. It is just it's everything to me. You can practice yoga. I mean, really, that will really connect the mind and body. You can go for a walk. You can go for a hike and get out in nature. Nature will help you feel less negative emotions. You get away from everything. Like I said, getting away from the phone and away from the technology and just away from even other people's energies. Just go out for a hike, go for a walk. And nature is another antidepressant. It helps people relieve signs of depression and anxiety. Get out there and just breathe the fresh air and see how beautiful the world itself really is. The way God made the world. Just go out and look at how beautiful it really is. And this is the perfect time of year for it. Fall is finally coming. Thank you, God. So the weather is so much more enjoyable to go out there. So take advantage of it and do it. The next method of staying positive in these dark times is to really value family time. Now, it kind of coincides with gratitude. You have to be grateful for the people in your life, and really doing something, even if it's just enjoying each other's company. Just be with the people you love, be with the people you appreciate, and spend really good quality time with them. Do something different. Play a board game. Plan an activity. It doesn't have to be something fancy or expensive. Just do something, or just be with the people you love and really appreciate them. I moved my whole life just to be down here with my family, and it was tough, but I value family enough to do it. So I'm not saying to pick up everything and move to where your family is. I'm saying spend more time with them, plan a trip to see them if they live far away. Just be with family, be with the people you love, and whoever that may be. Everybody's situation is different. So just be with who you love, who's family to you. That's what's important. It doesn't have to be, actual blood relatives. It's just who's family to you. It could just be your dog. Like, just spend quality time with, I was going to say the people and I just said dog. Be with the ones you love. Whether they're people or they're here for a friend. My next tip is spirituality. So this may be different for everyone, but you really want to get in tune with your spirituality. You really want to be connected with your higher self. And for me, that is being more connected with God, because we are a part of God. He gave us his breath, like he breathed life into us. So we are a part of him. He is a part of us. It's something that I need to focus more on. I really need to get back into my word, back into really studying the Bible more, reading it more, because it's important to be in tune with your spirituality. And for me, I am a follower of Christ, so that means going to church. And you don't have to go to church every day. You really want to find a good church that makes you feel good and is filled with good, genuine, real people who really care about the word. And though that can be a little difficult, just keep going out there trying till your spirit feels good and comfortable somewhere. And whatever that means for you, whatever spirituality means for you, just dive into it and dig deep. And for me, knowing that there's something beyond this world, there's something after this, and it's gonna be way better than this. There'll be a time where I don't have to feel pain or worry about being depressed or having to worry about digging myself out of darkness. Like, it will only be light. And knowing that and being in tune with that alone will give you a sense of peace and a sense of freedom. Have something to look forward to. You know that this isn't it. Like, let's live our life to the fullest here while we're here now, and do all the things that we're meant to do on this earth, and know that there's something better after this. That, to me, that's another thing that keeps me going. Knowing that, what, I'm going to live my life here because there's something better after this, and I'm meant to experience something here, and I'm going to experience to the fullest. And when it's over, God, it's going to be great. My next tip is something called anchoring. And this is a tool actually used by psychologists and life coaches to bring people to a state that is usually positive and make them feel the feelings that they felt at a certain time in their life. So for me, I use anchoring all the time with my childhood, because I was really blessed and fortunate to have an amazing childhood. And I use a lot of anchoring tools to bring me back to that feeling of when I was a kid. And I feel like we all had great childhoods, even if it wasn't, and we experienced bad things in our childhood. And like if you have experienced a difficult childhood, I just want to say that you are an amazingly strong person to be here today and now, because that's such an important time in our life. You know, it molds who we are. And for me, going back to those times where we were carefree and innocent, that innocence is really key. There are times where I've anchored to that feeling in my childhood of that innocence, that purity, and it just brought me to tears, because God, that to me, I feel like that's how we'll feel when we leave this earth and we're just in tune with our higher self completely and fully. Because when we come into this earth, we're just so pure, and we haven't had the darkness of the world tackle us yet, and we haven't had that struggle and that fight yet. And to go back to that time, it really lifts you up to that higher self, that higher vibration. It really helps skyrocket those vibrations. So I use anchoring to my childhood all the time. And how you do this is you pick something that puts you back into a memory from your childhood. So for me, I use a lot of things, video games that I played when I was a kid, certain shows that I watched when I was a kid. You know, some people think it's crazy that, you know, once in a while I'll watch cartoons. I'll be watching Rocko's Modern Life or Hey Arnold, but it makes me feel really good to just go back to that time and to feel that relief, that carefree, that freedom, that innocence that I felt as a child. And it really lifts me up. It can be a certain song that you remember as a child. It could be a certain smell. Like, as we all know, like, smell is our sense that's the most attached to memory. So for me, there's a couple scents that remind me of Christmases as a kid. And it really just puts you back in that state. It puts you back in that time. And your consciousness almost kind of goes back there. And you really can feel the emotions of how you felt then. And if you're feeling down, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling negative, you do this and you use this tool, and you can lift yourself up right out of that. So I love anchoring. It's probably one of the biggest tools I use on this list. Like I said, I was blessed to have a really good childhood, and I always like going back to that. And just remember being a kid where everything was good, and, you know, my brother was around. And like I said, sometimes I've anchored so deeply that I just like pour out tears crying. And it's not tears of sadness. Those feelings, just like tears of gratitude. You know, I'm grateful to be able to experience that again. And it's an amazing tool. So I really recommend trying this. You know, do things you did when you were a kid. Go out there and cloud gaze, you know, like we did when we were kids. Just lay out there and lay in the grass and look up at the sky and just be one with the earth. And just be in the moment. Be in the moment. You want to be in the moment, and you want to plan for the future. That's how you want to live life. You want to learn from the past. You want to live in the moment, and you want to plan for the future. That's really the great triple beam balance of past, present, and future. This is something that if I didn't master, I wouldn't be here today. And this is something that my best friend, Amanda, I love you. She really drilled in my head. Like, if she did not constantly drill this into my head, I really don't know where it would be today. I really don't know if I would be here today. But you cannot sit and ruminate on the past. It is so bad to just constantly replay the past over and over and over, and to have thoughts like, I should have did this, I should have did that, I wish I never did this, I wish I never did that, why didn't this happen instead of this? It's just so bad to overthink and constantly dwell on the past. It is one of the roots of depression. It will lead to depression. Because when we stay stuck in the past, I mean, the past is the past. We can't change it. We can't go back as much as we wish that we could. And we do. We wish we could. We wish we can go back and do it all over again. But when you sit there and you dwell on that and you constantly say, if I could go back, I can change everything. No, you cannot. You can only change right now. You can only change right now and the future. You can plan for the future and change your world and change your future. But you can't change the past. The past is the past, and you just gotta learn from it and leave it there. Take the lessons, take the valuable lessons from your mistakes, from things that happened, from things that were negative, and take the lesson from those negative situations and leave it right there. Leave the past where it is. It's in the past. It's gone. You can't do anything about it. It's gone. But you have right here, right now. You have it. You own it. It's in your hands. And all it takes is a mind shift and putting in the inner work mentally, emotionally, and changing your mind, changing your habits, changing your thought patterns, changing your actions, and changing your world right here today. That is all in your control. That you have control over. You don't have control over the past and what happened in the past, but you have control over your thoughts right here today and how you're going to live out the rest of your life. Learn from it, and think about the positive things. Like I said, anchoring is really the only time you should be thinking about the past. And even then, you shouldn't be dwelling on the past and dwelling on how great things used to be. You just put yourself in those emotions to lift yourself out of negative feelings. And then you take that high, really, because that's what it is for me. It's like a high, and you go about your day and you take on the day. But you don't sit there and dwell like, man, life used to be so great. You know, that's not what anchoring is about. It's about putting yourself in that feeling, that emotional state where, oh man, I was so happy. Like, oh, I feel happy now. And then, boom, you go out and tackle the day. You go out and tackle those goals that you had to do that day. That's the goal. That's the point of anchoring. I find myself thinking about the past or dwelling on the past. I stop. You got to catch yourself doing it. You got to really practice catching yourself doing it. And stop yourself and say, all right, that's enough. It's over. What's happening right now? What are we planning for? What can I do right now to get to where I want to go? My next tip is to talk to someone. We all have a lot on our minds and we all keep a lot of things bottled in. And just letting it out and venting can really just release a lot of those negative emotions. If you have things that you've been keeping inside and pent up for a long time and you haven't talked about it, it's just sitting in there festering and causing you all this pressure, you know, emotionally and mentally, physically. You gotta release it. You gotta let it out. And I'm a big advocate for seeking counseling. You know, you can seek a professional, you can get a therapist, you can get a life coach, you can get someone to help you with these feelings, especially if you're feeling like your depression is kind of getting out of control. I think everyone should speak to someone. I think everyone should speak to a professional. I think everyone should have a therapist or a life coach, just because we all need that. We all need that extra help, and we all need that professional help. Someone who is trained to help guide us emotionally, mentally, and can give us the tools that we need to shift our mindset. You know, I'm working mental health, and you know, I see lives change because they got professional help. You know, there's only so much you can do on your own. You need that outside source of someone who's trained to help you shift the mindset and give you the tools that you need. And like I said, everyone can benefit from it. You know, even if you feel like, you know, you kind of got it all together, like trust me, Like, everybody needs that, and you need someone to talk to. You know, if you do have someone in your, if you're blessed enough to have someone in your life you can talk to who will listen to you, it's amazing. So take advantage of that. And like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong, and there's no shame at all in getting professional help. If that's something that kind of scares you a little bit, you know, get a life coach. There's a lot that you can do to get the professional help that we all need. It can turn your whole life around. It can change your life, and, you know, continue to grow and develop who you are. Because we all grow. You know, if we're not growing and becoming the greatest version of ourselves every day, you know, we're really not living life to the fullest, because we grow as people until we leave this earth. So those are my tips for staying positive in these what seem like dark times, and just know that they're not necessarily dark times. We just live in a world that is full of duality. You know, there's light and there's dark. Right now we're just really the media, and, you know, the media controls our view of the world, which is why you should take a break from it a lot, because it will create your perspective and view of the world. But there's just a microscope on the negative right now, and there's, you know, some negative things happening. But just know that there's always been negative things happening in the world. There's always been bad things going on, but there's also always been really amazing, wonderful things going on. And there's so much beauty that life has to offer, and your life has so much value, and who you are in your life matters. It matters a lot, and there's a lot of value in you, and you have so much to offer this world. So just take these tips, apply them to your life, write them all down, and just keep going. And know that you are loved, because I love you. Because if you got this far in the video, dang, I love you. So thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment below if you like this video and it helped you, and you know you got something out of it. Give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you'd like to see next. If you like a video on meditation or affirmations, let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.